We are now here in Rinneroog, in the parish of Bunanedin, in the company of Sonny McDonagh. All his life he has been playing music, and he grew up in an area that is steeped in music, for Bunanedin is the parish of the late Michael Coleman. Throughout his life he has played the concert flute, and he has joined in many a session. He's had the experience of travelling to America and meeting many Sligo musicians. All his time he has been a genial character, never failing to oblige when a session of music is needed. When a session of music is needed, or when musicians assemble together, Sonny is always willing to join, to make that session all the more merry. Here now he will play 2 reels, and afterwards he will tell you something of his life, from growing up, childhood, to his visit to America. And now it's over to you, Sonny. Good man yourself. Very, very good indeed. Now, as I said a moment ago, you grew up in a parish that was steeped in traditional music. Who are the musicians you remember from your boyhood years?
Well, I played with Martin Wynne, Joe Dowd, Paddy Horn, Fred Finn. Them are all fiddle players now.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
There was up in Newcastle, there was Peg Spellman and Pat Keller, Johnny Michael Cawley, and Jimmy Freyan is still playing. And I played with Tolly Gannon now, he come from Achondra.
Yeah.
He was a great fiddle player. And I played with Francis Scanlon, I was only a laddie, I was only a child at this stage.
Yeah.
And Pecky Duffy.
Pecky Duffy, right.
And Peter James McDermott.
Bunanedin, yeah. How do you remember Peter James McDermott as a musician?
Well, he was more of a classical player now than traditional, but he had a great rhythm.
Yeah, that's right. He's credited with teaching Michael Coleman some tunes.
Oh, I'd say he was able to teach. Charlie Scanlon and Bunanedin, he was a good fiddle player too.
Yeah.
In them days, and his brother James Henry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were all fiddle players.
That's right. Now, most of the people you've spoken about were either fiddle or flute players.
No, they were all fiddle players.
All fiddle players?
All fiddle players,
yeah.
every one of them.
Every one of them, yeah. And who were the flute players that you remember?
Well, I remember Willie Snee.
Yeah.
I remember Willie Mulligan. He come from down at Himlanathon School,
Yeah.
and that was a great pal of his teacher. He was Bat Henry.
Bat Henry, yeah.
He was a good fiddle player too.
Yeah.
Himself and Willie Coleman, now
Yeah.
they used to play a lot together.
Yeah.
And there was Mike Joe Rhines, he was a flute player.
That's right.
And Matt Malloy, he'd be an uncle to the great Matt now.
Nowadays, yeah.
And Jimmy McGettrick, he was a grand flute player too. And there was a little man lived down the road here, Tommy Finn.
Yes.
He was a grand. He was a grand flute player.
Yeah, that's right.
And just in from him now, there was two other men that they were both great fiddle players, Henry Morrison and John,
Oh,
was
yeah.
their names.
I see, yeah.
And of course then we had McKeown, a good fiddle player, and his brother Tommy was an outstanding flute player.
Yeah, I'm told he was, yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
And Peter Horton, up the road from that.
That's right.
And there was a fellow up nearer to Gortin Peck, Joe Mare. He's
Yeah.
dead now, of course.
Then, never heard of him, no.
And there was a Jimmy Hunt, he'd be a brother of Martin Hunt's, the tradesman.
Yeah.
He was a good flute player.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we
Scored.
had Paddy, we used to call him, Paddy
That's
Jim Frank, we used to call him Patrick Hunt was his right name. He
Yeah.
come from Clownshire.
Yes, indeed.
And there was another old man used to be along with him, Birdie Towie.
And he played the flute also.
He played the flute as well.
Yeah. Now, all the people you've told me about so far were either flute or fiddle players.
Yeah.
Were there any accordion players that you remember of?
Well, you know, there were very few.
Very few,
Few
that's
and
right,
fair
yeah.
between. Tommy Finn was not an accordion out, was a melodeon at that stage,
Yeah.
in my young days.
Yeah, yeah.
And my mother used to play melodeon.
Mm.
And then, of course, later on there was any amount of accordion players.
That's right, yeah.
But not so many accordion players around here.
The most dominant instruments were fiddle and
it was
flute.
all near enough all fiddle
No
and flute.
doubt, that's right, yeah. Now, your father played music?
No,
No, he didn't.
no.
your
My
father-
grandfather did.
Your grandfather did, is right, yeah.
He was a good old fiddle player, I believe. I
Yeah.
never seen him now.
Oh, no. Well, you'd have played mostly at country house dances and in groups.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was all that we had.
That's right, yeah.
Country house dances and groups.
Yeah. Now, a great moment came for you in the mid-70s, 1976, when you went over to America. Can you tell us how it came about and who organised it?
Well, as far as I know, it was Trinity College in Dublin.
Yeah.
We went over for the bicentenary year in
76.
76, and I was working in Gortin at the time, and they rung me up to see would I go on the tour, so we arranged to meet in Donegan's, and they taped me that night, and he says to me, I won't ask you to give me a definite answer tonight, but don't
Yes.
say you won't go.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was the 12th of July, and it wasn't too easy to get away, but
No.
they let me go anyway.
I'll let you go anyway, that's right, yeah.
And we went to Washington, D.C. first, into the college, because they were on holidays.
Yes.
And we were there for 8 days.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. There was 50 Irish Americans brought in to play along with us.
Yes.
And there was 27 or 25 between musicians and dancers went over, and there was 50 brought in, and we had a great fortnight there.
That fortnight there, that's right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We done a concert near enough every night, and were in the workshops all day down in the park.
Mm.
And then we went on tour.
On tour, that's right.
We went from Washington D.C. to Philadelphia.
Yes.
We spent 3 days in Philadelphia, 3 nights, and we went from there to Baltimore. We went from Baltimore out to Fort Dodge out in Iowa,
Yeah.
and we come back to Chicago, and then we come into New York. So we had our 28 days in.
Yeah. Now, did you come across many Sligo musicians over there?
Oh God, I did. There was, well, the Flynns from Paulsboro, now,
there.
Mick and Peck, they were there.
Yeah.
And who else did I meet now? John Frank Vasey.
Yes.
He was full steam at that
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
And one of the Prestons from down below Ballymore,
Oh, yeah.
grand flute player he
That's
was
right,
too,
yeah.
Mick Preston.
Fresh. And did you meet Ladder Byrne at all, or any of those?
No, we didn't meet Martin Wynne.
You didn't meet Martin Wayne.
No.
I see, yeah. So you didn't meet anyone from the close neighbourhood, so to speak?
Oh no,
No,
I never met.
it's,
Would you like to play us another couple of tunes now, Sonny?
Oh, you will.
Thank you very much indeed, Sonny. Very good. Very good. And now I'd like to do a small piece of a letter, which I think really is appreciation of Sonny's visit and the contribution he made to that tour that he spoke about earlier on. And I think what's said in this letter really sums up the personality and the characteristics of Sonny McDonagh. Dear Mr. McDonagh, on behalf of the Smithsonian Institution, the National Park Service, and all the people who came to the Bicentennial Festival of American Folk Life while you were here this summer, I would like to thank you for the part you played in the presentation of Irish traditions. We are grateful to you for the generosity sharing a part of your life and traditions with all those who visited the Irish area of old ways in the New World. Your performance made a lasting impression on many Americans. We have received many, many enthusiastic comments from people who saw you at the festival and on tour. You not only gave much pleasure to your audience, but taught them something about your traditions and made them more aware of their own cultural heritage. We hope that you also enjoyed your visit to the United States and found it to be a rewarding experience. Ralph Resler, director of the Festival of American Folklife, and everyone on the staff of All Ways in the New World, join me in expressing gratitude to you for your participation in and valuable contributions to the Bicentennial Festival. Yours sincerely, Mrs. Shirley Clarsley, Programme Coordinator, All Ways in the New World, Festival of American Folklife. And I'm sure you did find American award and experience, did you?
That was.
Very good. That's
That
good,
was lovely. Sure.
Very good indeed, is right.
Was that your first trip to America, Sonny?
It was.
Well,
Yeah.
Have you ever been back since?
No.
Yeah?
No, I'm afraid it's first and last.
Did you enjoy it while you were there?
Ah, God, I did. Oh, it was lovely. We had a great time now. They made the most of us indeed.
Made you more than welcome.
We did. We were,
I suppose you would have been tired, you know, too. You wouldn't have much time.
well,
for yourself.
I slept for a week after I got home.
That would just to sort of sum it all up, wouldn't it?
Oh, no.
Would you like to play us another couple of tunes and then we'll let you back to your work?
I will.
I think it's only fair to say it would disturb you in the middle of your
I
work.
wouldn't worry about that.
Eh?
I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Music is a pleasure.
A few hours wouldn't make a lot of difference to me.
I suppose.
No.